things during that race.
Yeah.
Especially pretty much everything from the paraglide, not paraglider, from Cryana's BTV up until the end of Balm Shrine. It was just so back and forth.
Indeed. We're expecting another good one here any minute now. There are plenty of good stuff happening in that last one, and I'm sure we'll get another very similar to it.
I'm doing great today, Smitch. I am happy to be here. Alright, my restream tab back over and it's not wanting to load, so let's refresh really quick before we get into this.
I just did that, yeah. We have not started quite yet, so doing all right.
Go.
I see Sly hanging out in the chat with us.
Pog you, Sly.
Yes, indeed. Pog you, Sly. May your RNG be better this run. And the countdown has started. 30 seconds, and we got another race starting. Okay, I'm gonna assume my sync was out. That didn't look synced on them starting, but we are off nonetheless.
A little bit of synchronizing over here.
Yeah. All good. Let's see if both our runners can get cleaner Shrine of Resurrection clips this time. Both of them struggled a little bit on it last time.
Yeah, last time wasn't too bad, but there was a little bit more of a struggle than either of them would have liked, so we'll see.
For sure.
Hopefully being able to get out around the same time.
It's one of those tricks that, you know, if you're watching submitted runs, you will almost never see a struggle on the Shrine of Resurrection clip. I'm sure both of these runners, if they had gotten the clips they'd gotten last time in a PB attempt, would have just reset. But it's a race, and you just got to roll with how things go. So Sly
Very
getting
nice
out
from Sly.
a little faster this time.
There we go.
Nick not far behind. Both of them a little faster. I'm sure they're happier with how that went.
Yeah, the scope clip there can be a little bit tricky because the direction you have to point the stick is all dependent on where you aim your camera. So it's not the kind of thing you can have consistent every time. You just kind of have to roll with wherever your camera lands.
For sure. Since we've seen this, I don't know, Swiffy, if you want to educate us about the mechanics of how the scope clip actually gets you through the wall.
Sure. So, at least to my understanding, we don't have a collision viewer for the things in Breath of the Wild yet. But to my understanding, Link's collision, when it pivots like that, because what you're doing when you scope, you're turning Link like 180 degrees in a single frame. So presumably his collision is not centered on him. So when you pivot him that quickly, it just pushes his collision into the wall. And because more of his collision is on one side of the wall than the other, the game is like, okay, well, I need to push him out and away from the wall. So presumably that's how it works. And it's a similar type of mechanic with shield clipping as well.
I was under the impression that there was something to do with Link's feet, which is specifically why the shield clips work when the feet just snap into the shrine on the when you use skew.
Yeah, so the thing that's slightly different with shield clipping is that it actually pivots or it rotates Link to the side. So they'll have skew and from landing on a surface with the shield, and they can use that skew to make Link rotate to the side. So when he rotates and then snaps back into position, that changes his collision position a little bit to where it pushes him through the wall. And since same as with scope clip, since more of his collision is through the wall than not through it, it's like, okay, I need to push him away and into the shrine.
Excellent explanations there. Majestic struggling a little bit on his first clip into the shrine, but still very close and some very excellent movement on their way to this shrine.
And I guess while we're talking about game mechanics, I can explain bullet time bounce a little bit here. That one's a little bit simpler to understand. So when you land on an enemy, the game is programmed to push you away because it's not a surface that Link can land on. If you do that in bullet time, though, it increases the momentum to 20 times the push. So, like, it's just one of those things that weren't programmed to scale down. One of the interactions that weren't programmed to, like, scale down when you return to normal time out of bullet time. So just landing on an enemy and getting that push and then ending bullet time will send you 20 times faster than was intended.
Right, so we're exploiting the fact that when you pull out a bow midair, the game goes into slow-mo, but it doesn't take that slow-mo into account when you hit the enemy. So when you exit the bullet time, the game says it needs to speed Link up by 20 times and amplifies that push. Said you need flying.
It's very interesting because there's not a lot of things. There's not a lot of things in the game that are affected by bullet time in that way. I'd really be interested in knowing how much time and how late shield surfing was implemented into the game, because I'm not gonna say it's a bad mechanic at all, but it is pretty much the key to a lot of the glitches that we exploit. So it does seem like it got a little less polished than some other game mechanics, but it works in our favor.
Absolutely. The shield is an absolutely busted item for this speedrun, which is, of course, why it's the first thing we pick up. Make a beeline straight for that pot lid.
Wind bombs are affected by bullet time, but only in the sense that in bullet time, if there's proper spacing between two bombs, they won't cause each other to explode immediately. So in bullet time, you can launch one bomb with another bomb, but as far as mechanics goes, I may be mistaken here, but I don't believe bullet time is the reason why Link gets sent flying. I believe it's just something that's needed to propel one bomb to go into you with another bomb.
Sly getting a suboptimal angle on his BTB again. Looks like Majestic did get an optimal one first try, so makes up for that small for being slightly behind at the end of stasis. Ooh, wow, Sly another first try ESC. Secures his lead again. But Majestic not far behind at all. We'll see if Sly can pull off cryo skip this time. He basically did last time, but had a last minute error that forced him to do the normal strat. So I suspect that that's not something he'll do again, but we'll have to see. Nicely executed that time. Same for Majestic.
Just as last time, still a very close race here. Pretty much the same conditions that we were seeing last race.
Absolutely. Well, it will again come down to this Magnesis BTB. For those who don't remember, Sly got a perfect one to the shrine, but no one loaded last time, while Majestic ended up in the forest. And while Majestic got plenty of arrows in the castle, certainly the arrows were the story of last match, so it doesn't look so bad in retrospect. Ooh, Sly getting noticed, and
oh,
wait,
okay.
does he still pull it off? Oh, no,
No,
that was a funky angle.
Yeah. Still going for it, though. I admire that.
Certainly at least worth checking if it's going to be a good angle. Majestic looks like he gets a good angle this time, so...
Yeah, getting a much better angle this time. Going to make it all the way to the shrine, not having to land in forest and do the backup like last time.
Mm-hmm. I'd say Sly doing the reload is about as costly as landing in the forest. It may be ever so slightly faster, but I actually think you'd prefer to get the arrows over whatever time save resetting takes over forest angle.
Sly getting a very nice angle here. Gonna put him right in the lake, it looks like. I assume he's still gonna fall damage cancel, of course, but this is fairly ideal. Unfortunately, not getting unloaded again. That would have helped him out here.
Yeah. There's one of the things we don't really understand yet that is a possible time save is if you can get here on a good launch before the shrine is fully loaded in, sometimes the door won't be there and you can walk right in and activate the elevator without having to do a clip.
Right, so things load within a certain proximity of Link. So as you're flying over all these trees in the forest, they're constantly getting pushed into memory and then pushed out of memory. And to get the shrine unloaded, ideally what you want is to have a lot of trees in queue in the memory to be loaded, and then have the shrine be at the, or I don't know if it would be proper to say like at the bottom or at the top of that queue, but you want the shrine to be like the last thing in the list to load. And it's difficult to do because it's all based on the little pauses on the way over to the shrine that determine what part of the queue it gets put in.
Yeah. So far, it seems mostly random. We don't have any kind of manipulation for unloaded, although that is certainly something people have tried to find and will continue to look for. Both of our runners now done with Magnesis. Majestic with a sizable lead, though he overcame a worse deficit before, so Sly still certainly is not out of it. Majestic getting a good box walk this time. And a good BTB. Much cleaner section for him than the last time.
Not quite as fast of a BTB as we saw last time, but this is pretty standard for what you'll see in runs.
For sure. And certainly faster given that box walk was a success instead of having to swim part of the way. Oh! Sly getting juked by that Boko.
As soon as he went into bullet time, the Boko just darted towards him. It's a little unfortunate. He got 15
Wow.
arrows from that crate, so that could help him out later. We could see the opposite story of what we saw last race, but
We certainly could. Fortunately, he's gonna go. I believe Sly is the one who coined the term joggers for this tournament, which refers to having to jog here over to bombs rather than sail through the air. Unfortunately, since they're doing Amiibo, there's no sort of backup consolation prize of getting the beetle here. That's the launch Majestic would have wanted last time when he was on only 2 hearts.
right.
Just, he
So
took
him
no fall
landing
damage.
there, yeah, him landing there taking no fall damage is what he was aiming for last time, presumably, but wasn't able to land up there.
Sly just now entering the shrine. That means he's about a minute behind.
Sounds about right, yeah.
So, but we will see.
It's always a lot riding on the castle BTB, so we'll have to see where that goes. Both of these people are very experienced speedrunners, so wouldn't expect either of them to get tied up on that BTB for too long, but having to reload can put you behind.
For sure. I'd say you lose about a little over 20 seconds each time you have to reload. So, well, yeah. Including there's plus some extra time for having to reset up the BTB. So, oh, Sly, not quite getting the bullet time there. Gonna have to reattempt this wind bomb.
Ooh.
Oh, and then because he had to reattempt it, got hit by ragdoll glitch.
Yeah, I'm not sure why that affected him there. Him having ragdoll glitch, him unequipping shield in that spot, unless he did not do that. I wasn't looking at his screen at the time. He should have been okay. But yeah, every time that you shield jump and unequip shield, you have to reset ragdoll, which you can do by taking ragdoll damage, or you can unequip shield in the spot where you're wanting to do a launch, and that'll make it a little bit safer. Unequipping shield in the spot you want to launch doesn't completely get rid of the glitch, but it makes it a little less fussy.
For sure. All right, Majestic with a very fast plateau. That was honestly, I think that was a 14-minute. I think that was sub 15. So that's a very good plateau.
Very good BTB here too.
Yeah, wow. Going to take a commanding lead with that. Sly certainly not quite having the plateau he would have liked. This one is going to end up about a minute slower than last runs.
Getting a good angle to the tree there. I'm just curious now what Song does differently. I think he normally aims the camera right, because I noticed the last 2 times Sly's ragdoll getting canceled a little bit before getting to the tree. I'm wondering if the angle.
Oh, and he falls off.
Wondering if the angle of the camera might cause more or less lag.
Yeah, very interesting.
Oh, that's true. He probably does press the stick when he changes a rune.
For those not aware of what that causes, whoa, what does pressing the stick change?
When you're ragdolling on the ground, at least after a certain amount of time, when you press the stick, that'll stop you from ragdolling. And that launch is long enough that pretty much as soon as you hit the ground, if you press the stick, you can cancel it right away.
Okay. Very interesting. Well, Majestic got the landing up at Dining Hall that he needed, and got the fish from the amiibo, so he is off to the races through this castle. It's gonna take some misstep or some RNG like Sli's from last race to let Sly back in this race. Ooh, Sly gonna have to redo that BTB.
Noticing immediately him getting too low of an angle to work with there, so just reloading for the BTB.
Yeah, quite likely he could have crashed and died, which would have meant an even longer reloading screen. So exiting out of that early before he dies is
not the best
call.
arrows on Majestic screen, but this is still a pretty large deficit for Sly to be able to make any headway here.
Absolutely. Yeah, it would honestly. It looks like it's going to take Majestic dying during Calamity to let Sly back into this. It's a pretty commanding lead that Majestic has.
Either have to be that or just some awful Ganon RNG, and nobody wants to see that.
No, but it's a lot. Like, I really think you're looking at only death territory at this point. Oh, Sly. He should have just opted to do that final jump. Didn't have the stamina to make it all the way up.
There is a Decayed Guardian that lands near a pile of rubble here, so I think he was opting to just let his stamina refill so he could climb up, maybe not knowing the exact position where it falls.
That's fair enough.
Nice here for Majestic, going for the backup arrows.
Yeah. Almost wonder if I don't know, we saw Sly in the chat earlier. I wonder if Majestic is watching the race and can tell that he's ahead and just needs to make safe decisions at this point.
Very nice.
All right, nice wind blight skip. Sly's movement through this castle is looking very good, but those small time saves are not quite gonna do it for him.
See the pendulum swinging the other way here. Sly getting much better arrows this time.
For sure. Oh, picking up the barrel rather than the boomerang.
Cheeky little barrel here. I do want to mention, there is something, video of Sly's that we do have pinned in the Any Percent channel. Anyone that's looking for optimizing their Any Percent runs, I'd highly advise taking a look at it. He's done an analysis of some of his, I don't know if it's his current PB, but he's done analysis, whatever I'm trying to say, of his PBs in the past, and he gives some very insightful information about his movement around castle, and specifically where he's trying to aim his stick, just trying to do very minor improvements to his movement. Those small movements really add up over time in a run, and I highly advise any newer runners to take a look at it.
It's an excellent video. It's 2 hours long. He goes very in depth on his, extending his 28-minute time by 4 times to give you all the tips. Not
very
quite the
close
wind
to
bomb
that
you
guardian
wanted,
laser. Okay.
but that
Oof.
spot luckily is safe. That is where you want to land if you're a little too low. Majestic didn't get that one cycle on Fireblight, but that is only a small time loss. I wasn't really paying attention again, but just given where Sly was aiming, it looked like he didn't do demon setup on Moonblight skip. Went for the more traditional setup.
Still a fair bit
Gets
of
the
time to
skip
make up
anyways.
here. Majestic currently on Thunderblight phase 2, with Sly going into Water Blight.
Though it is worth noting that Majestic just shot a fire arrow, which I assume means he's out of normals. And I think, yeah, so his arrows are looking in a similarly dire position to Sly's last time. Though I guess he did pick up the extra 5 bomb arrows, so... maybe not as difficult, but yeah, fire arrow there.
I do think him going for the backup bomb arrows was a good call here, just for the situation that he is in.
Yeah. Also grabbing that backup shield. Glad to see Chad agrees.
Yep. Majestic will be able to deal a decent amount of damage to Ganon here. He gets the 10 bomb arrows in here, of course, but then also the 5 from the chest earlier, so getting him down in health fairly quickly.
Yeah. He's still opting to go for that extra sword. I guess maybe thinking that the arrows won't quite do it, but those tornadoes are really the worst. They just sort of eat your arrows and can't parry them or do anything, and you have to avoid them while dealing with whatever the next attack is.
Gotta be aware of this fireball.
Yeah,
Okay.
is it? Okay. Looks like he was fine on it, but
I guess it landed. I don't have the audio on to hear him right now, but he started running back towards it and I was freaking out like, don't run that way.
yeah.
But he is fine.
Sly does get the 1 cycle on Fireblight. So Majestic is starting phase 2. Oh, that's some bad luck on Thunderblight there from Sly. Doesn't get the immediate shield break. Majestic gets the parry and
So
starts
he'll be
the
going
stun
for
lock.
the stun lock here. Not as familiar with the time on these, but his potion's looking rather low as well. If he manages to hold the stun lock though, he'll be fine.
Yeah. It's it honestly might run out slightly before he finishes, but I think he'll have it for long enough that it won't be a problem. It's gonna be very close, but I don't think that's gonna be nearly the same problem that it was for Sly last time.
There we go. Going on
Finishes
to
him
Dark
off.
Beast here. Very good arrow management there. Good play on getting the backup, and like I said, I didn't have the audio on, but I assume with the damage that he was able to do with that little arrows, he was probably nailing a lot of headshots. Getting headshots when you have very few arrows, or just headshots in general, is so crucial for being able to take care of first phase Calamity quickly. So big props for that.
Yeah, is it a 3 times bonus for hitting headshots over normal shots?
It's 2 times.
2 times, okay. Still, very big difference. If you can double your damage, you're going to do it in half the time.
Very nice first hit there on the first target for Dark Beast.
Yep, manages to get that that ankle target as well. I'm sure Majestic has been working on that ankle target since he nearly choked that world record on missing it multiple times. Ooh, Sly not having great RNG with Ganon, but does manage to get him back off the wall with his last 2 bomb arrows.
Curious what happened here. He looked like he had really good arrows earlier, but he's run out here right at the end of phase 1.
Yeah. Maybe just not quite as many headshots as you would have liked. I don't know. Wasn't that bad, but you would think he'd finish it with some arrows to spare, given how many he got earlier. Oh, didn't quite get the parry there, but gets on a second try. Majestic only got 2 shots remaining on Dark Beast here. This is going to be an insane race time.
For sure.
It's going to be some kind of 28, I would think. Which is... Oh, is he going to do it to the horse?
Here.
Alright, let's the horse live. GG's to Majestic. Man, that was insane. 29-29. Take off the minute 7 for that opening cutscene. 28-22. That is a run that many runners would love to have as their PB. And he just pulls it out in what is an awesome race. GG's to him. That makes Majestic our winners bracket champion, and the player with the advantage going into the grand finals.
Majestic has really put in so much work, just running this game in general. As we mentioned earlier, he is fairly new. He's only been with the community like what, 5 or 6 months now, something like that. Just put an insane amount of hours into any percent, and it's really all that practice is paying off.
Yeah, it is great to see, and now is a great time to get into any percent for any of you in chat who are watching this and wondering if you could do it too. Got plenty of new runners learning things right now, and I mean, what greater evidence do you need other than Majestic that if you put in the work on it, you'll be able to get good at it very fast.
And been working on the server a little bit actually today. I will have some stuff to announce hopefully over the weekend. I am trying to take the server in more of a direction. Now that we've had the game nearly 4 years now, we're going into more of a phase where I want to say we're having more people teaching and more people learning rather than discovering the game, because we've learned so much these past 4 years, but wanting to usher in a new era of just making resources more accessible and making teaching people easier and just being able to share our information easier than we ever have before.
Absolutely. The 90% route has been pretty stable for a while now, so exactly. Just teaching people who don't know it what we already know so far is an awesome thing, and there are plenty of people willing to help you out if you are interested in learning the run for yourself. Sly got this final hit here to finish off this excellent match. He's gonna land with a 31-minute time, which again, for a race, very good. GG's to Sly.
GG Sly.
Had a
Great job from both runners here.
Absolutely. Had a few rough spots, but rolled with them and still finished with a very respectable time. If either or both of our runners want to hop in the voice chat, we would love to have a quick interview with you. Welcome, Majestic, GG, and Sly. Welcome to you both.
Jeez.
GG's on 2
GG.
excellent races.
Thank you.
Any highlights from them? How'd you guys feel?
Nah, they weren't too great. Just didn't play very well.
Yeah, that first match was a rough one. Really just at the end there. Things were looking fairly clean, but that lack of arrows really caught up to you.
It did, yeah. It sure did.
Yeah, that first one, I had to recoup after that. There was so much back and forth for like half a plateau, and then seeing Majestic just slowly clawing the time back there at the end. That was, oof. That was a really tight race.
For sure. What about you, Majestic? Any thoughts on how those races went?
The first race was a complete mess, but I managed to get lucky with my arrows, and like I saved a lot of time in endgame. I just slowly got the time back, and I died in bombs, and I got gamer win bomb first try.
That was
really cool
yeah.
to see.
That's my highlight of the entire thing. The second race went really well for me. I had a mid 14 plat, and I played it really safe. I got extra bomb arrows.
Yeah, we saw that. Your arrows weren't so great, but those bomb arrow pickups were good.
Because I assume it's gonna be. There's no way I'm far behind because I wasn't watching. So I'm like, it's either really close or if Sly's behind me. So I'm like, I'll play it safe. I'll take my chances.
For
That
sure.
was a really good call there, especially with the arrows that you had. I assume you were able to get quite a few headshots too, because I couldn't hear your game audio, but being able to chip that much damage away from Ganon.
Yeah, it was mostly headshots. I made a few mistakes, I missed the first flurry rush, so Gan was just really close to me, and it was hard to get to Claymore, but even though it was a slow calamity, it didn't matter too much.
For sure.
Bit unfortunate that the first race was really defined by the arrow RNG, but it really is a highlight of even in amiibo runs, that's the one thing that can make a big difference in your time. It's just what kind of arrows you manage to get from those crates.
Absolutely. Well, I don't know. Any other thoughts?
I think my one highlight was parrying Ganon's horizontal slash.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
that's all my highlights.
You did that in a race? What kind of man are you? What?
That was after your attack food ran out, right?
Oh no, that was in the second race.
Oh, that was in the second one? Okay.
Yeah.
Must have missed that. I don't remember seeing that, but that's really something.
Yeah, well, no, yeah. Also, GG's to you on finishing off that first fight after running out of the attack food and pushing through anyways.
Yeah. Disaster.
Appreciate the woodcutter's hammer hits there at the end.
Yep. Well, congrats to Majestic. You are the winners bracket champion, which puts you into the grand finals. And we're a little ways away from seeing who we will face again. Sly, of course, you're right at the end of the losers bracket now. So whoever comes out of the losers bracket, you will face for the spot against Cutie in the grand finals. So good lucks there.
Thank you.
I want to see a Sly rematch. I want him to win losers bracket. And I want the most epic rematch.
Epic rematch, alright.
That would be awesome to see, but we also do have
it.
plenty of good runners who will want to have something to say about it. So Sly, you got at least one more big match you got to win to get in there. Yep.
Yeah.
You've had an incredible win streak so far, not dropping a single match before now. So I mean, you've got what it takes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We'll have to see.
Well, unless either of you has anything more to say, good luck on your future matches. GG on a great match here, and we look forward to seeing both of you again when we reach those matches in the tournament.
Big GGs to the commentators as well. You guys did great on these winter bracket semis. Be sure to follow the
GG's to
runners.
you. Big GG's to you, ADN, for being able to set this up in record time.
I had no idea what's going on, so thanks for reaching out to me when we realized the race was on our schedule for tomorrow, but was not actually tomorrow. So that was bad on our end.
Well, it still got pulled together, and we had a great one. So, yeah, props to ZSR and all our restreamers for helping us pull off this tournament.
Oh, and for everyone who is here, very important, tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, we're doing a bi-weekly any percent race. So if you're a new runner or just learning, that's a good time to get some real race practice. And that race is going to lead right into that guy Chucky versus Sir Tapir. So that will be fun. It's going to be on ZSR4, hosted by me.
Very nice.
And so if you guys are interested, be sure to say something in Discord. I know we have a few people who have already said they're interested, so it'll be good. And then what we are going to do now is raid Zelda Speedruns. I'm sure Ricky gave you guys the spiel, but we are doing a OOT rando against pancreatic cancer. So all donations benefit what is it, Pank 1 organization to support that. So give them some support from Breath of the Wild if you guys didn't already before. But yeah, thanks everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a great rest of your day.